Hi, I'm Josh, and what we're going to do here is show you how you're going to clean your Jura-Capresso Infinity Conical Burr coffee grinder. You got a little tiny brush in the box when you bought it, and it was probably stationed hiding inside the bean container. Hopefully you saved it, because really you should be cleaning this every time at the end of the day or after you've done your grindings for the day. So here's what's happening. We just did a bunch of grinding, and what you're going to do is you're going to remove that container. And the container is going to have some brushes. Now, this piece that I'm holding is dishwasher safe, so feel free to use that. You can also use the ground coffee container on the bottom. This guy can also go in the dishwasher if you want to, or you can clean him in the sink. But what we're worried about is what's going on inside our Infinity grinder. So the upper burr is removable. It's a little warm because I've been using it a lot. But as you can see, it's kind of oily. It's maybe hard for you to see, but what you really want to do, I'm going to scooch this aside because I'm about to make a little bit of a mess. I've got my brush, and what I'm going to do is just kind of get in there and try to brush away all that debris that's in there. So you're probably going to do this maybe over a garbage can or something. Be careful with coffee grounds going down a sink. That could be trouble. But you're going to use your brush to really try to clean the upper burr. Get inside there where you have the metal and clear out the burr, because in those grooves you'll see that it's accumulating a good amount of some coffee grounds. So I'm going to get in there. There's coffee grounds stuck inside these little rims here. So I'm making kind of a mess here to clean a mess. Alright, so keep at it until you're pretty clear and you've removed it, because some of these grounds can really go rancid on you and cause issues. So you might want to keep brushing it off and keep going, but that's better than when we started. I'm going to set that aside for now. Take a look here. We've got the inside's pretty bad. In fact, we got a great deal of residue coffee grounds inside there. So I'm just, because this part here is not removable, I'm going to tilt my unit here and just drop it. Just use my brush to kind of flush it out and clear it. It's quite a bit of ground, so you might want to have have it ready to, maybe you want to save these. They're not going to have the same aroma if you're going to brew it tomorrow, but so I'm going to bring this back so you can see how it's changed. All right, so as you can see, it's a little different in here. Now, you can maybe clear it a little bit before I tip it back over, making sure that you've cleared off some of those grounds on the lower burr. That's what's so important, is that metal right there. Otherwise, I'm ready to just dump a little bit more out. And then there's something else really important down there. All right, so now there's a coffee buildup that we're looking for in this thing called the feeder channel. The feeder channel is located, I'm going to use the back of my brush to point at it. It starts here, and it kind of goes across. Now that's where the coffee grounds are being distributed down into the receptacle. So I'm going to clear it. It's just packed right now. I'm going to take this brush, and I'm going to press into it and clear that path. There's a lot of coffee grounds stuck in there. And that's, again, where you want to be real careful. Now, by getting inside there and clearing the path, you kind of have to go on an angle. It's a little tricky, but it's not that bad. All right, that should clear it. I'm going to just dump it again and go ahead and shake it out. Now what happened is when I cleared that path, I've got a lot of grounds that got shoved down to where the container was. Maybe I should have left it there. I'm going to flip it upside down to show you. That's the other side. So that little spot that I was trying to clear, this is another location where maybe you'd have access to go in there and just make sure it's fully cleared out. It's kind of an awkward angle, and I'm kind of messing up my brush a little bit, so be careful. But there's a lot of grounds that get stuck in there, and you want to be careful with that. All right, right now I'm pretty good shape. I could do a little brushing to kind of really clear it out better, but I think you get the picture of what's going on with how you need to clear the grounds out of there. So I would say probably brush it down a little bit more, and when you're done, you just set your upper burr back in there. Feel free to use like a soft, I have just a regular wet cloth, and you could wipe the casing down with that. You really don't want to use any kind of water inside the area where the beans get ground. So I would be careful of using any wet, damp rags inside here. Not a good idea. I would try to avoid that. And remember that the upper and lower burrs are not dishwasher safe. So don't throw those in the dishwasher. But by all means, your containers where the coffee grounds come out, your main coffee lid where all of your coffee beans are going to be stored, feel free to throw those in the dishwasher. And then that'll make it so that it'll make it a little easier for you. In the end, you're good to go. But you know what? There's one thing I forgot to tell you that's probably the most important thing. Before we started, we unplugged the grinder. If you don't unplug the grinder, you got a problem. So it's a little mess to clean the mess, but in the end, you're really safer, because if you leave those coffee grounds inside your machine, they could become rancid and cause a major problem and ultimately affect your performance. We have a lot more instructional videos on app.com and some other great coffee accessories, so check it out and let's hear some comments.